who's been up in the fight for victory in this. Looks like Miguel Honoré of Denmark. And at the back, a couple more of his teammates as well. It's flying along. There are only 54 kilometres to go. Magnus Bäckstedt, how do you see this one?
Interesting, very interesting that we got this counter-attack at this stage already, but with only one more ascent to deal with, I guess, yeah, it's time to get moving, really. So, but also, yeah, interesting to see so many of the Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl riders in that group, and I think I spotted Julian Alaphilippe in there as well. Obviously start having a good representation as well, as did the UAE team Emirates. So I think this is going to be very spicy, and obviously with that long false flat run down towards the finish as well, this is still very much a possibility that he can come back to a sprint, and it kind of seemed to be a recurring sort of way of building these courses in the sort of back end of the season in Italy, where we do have that long false flat running towards the line, so it could come back to a bunch sprint, it could stay away in a breakaway, and that's what makes them so intriguing in my eyes.
And these two have done a really good job staying out. Only one man couldn't hack the pace. It was that first attacker we saw, Mazzotto, but maybe understandable given the fact he's a third division rider. All the rest come from pro-continental teams, second division teams. And, well, a word for Francisco Munoz. He won a Spanish Cup race earlier in the season, so he's been racing all year in the under-23s. He's just 21. It's his first pro race, the longest race he's ridden in his career, at almost 200 Ks, and he's still surviving in that breakaway. Hat off to him as we see this UAE team chasing him down. It's a scary prospect looking at the composition of this group, because there's Lopez as well, Tesfazion we've just spotted. It's a top all-star group, this.
Yeah, very much so. Just looking at it, looked like Hidji in there as well. We've got such a strong lineup of riders in this group here. So this could be an interesting. I think if we're looking at the peloton, they're really going to have to get a move on. If there are any teams that have got aspirations of winning this and have missed the move.
Barrenechea, Munoz and Jusson. This is Jusson. Comes from Vannes in France. And the descent here from Piccolo Stelvio, with 52.5 kilometres to go. About to approach the penultimate climb of the day. In fact, there's a small climb, isn't there, before Piccolo Stelvio, so they're just on the descent from that before beginning the climb itself. You can see that group we've just been looking at. We've not really had a chance to look at the peloton. This is our first look at it. In fact, I thought if you aren't in that chase group yet, then you might not have the legs to be with these stars today, but it's not a massive difference, is it? It's about 40 seconds between this group and the main peloton behind.
Yeah, I mean, 40 seconds is still a significant time gap when you start thinking at where we are in the race and the number of riders and the quality of the riders that we got in this group. But most notably here now, I haven't spotted any rider from Ineos Grenadiers in this chasing group here, and that yeah. Bit of a worrying time, I think, for Ineos Grenadiers. Also, Intermarché, Wanty Gobert missed out on this one, from what I can see at the moment. So, yeah, there are a couple of the sort of bigger teams that haven't got representation here. They need to get a move on.
Interesting to see who's going to be working. Of course, we've got the only starter from the Tour of Croatia who finished yesterday, in this race on the Ineos Grenadiers, and he's chancing his arm. He's racing close to home here. Elia Viviani. It's on the way back home to Monaco, isn't it, this race for him coming from Croatia, if he comes in the car. He won yesterday, so obviously, just in case this does end up in a sprint, he's here. Interesting to see if they can bring them back, but it's not often. I mean, you look at that performance last year. There's been some attacking races on this circuit in the last few years, and
bunch sprints. There have been groups coming together to the finish line, but yeah, we very rarely see any sort of proper bunch sprints.
So Alaphilippe on the attack behind. He's being followed by Einer Rubio. We just saw in the breakaway the breaking up of the move, because Munoz, who we've been talking about, the young Spaniard for Eolo Cometa, he was just dropped by Berancher and Jusum. This now is Alaphilippe, and well, it's an important one for him to try and get back to winning ways anyway, but it's Saturday, Giro di Lombardia, a race that man surely must be wanting to win. She behind her, that's Ionis Aguirre. And at the front, well, the last throws really of this breakaway. They've been out there for almost 150